What's going on, people? Good morning. Welcome to the Morning View. Happy Friday, end of the week. It's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Everyone loves a Friday. Most people love a Friday. Let us know where you're watching from. Let us know how you're feeling. Smash the like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Big up to everyone. Look at that. Super chat, early doors, man. Members chat, early doors from Jord and George's as well. Big up to you guys. People talking about AJ in the chat as well. AJ and Garnacho. Oh, wow.
I was talking to KG about that. We had a late night phone call. KG was driving in his car last night, called me up. We were chatting about everything. We were chatting about boxing. We were chatting about wrestling. We were chatting about football. We were chatting about life. You know, who says me and KG aren't friends? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Who knows behind the scenes? You definitely are friends. We got a lot to talk about. Obviously, yesterday's show was more about the players who need to leave and the past. Today's about the future. Today's about INEOS's plans for the future, how we feel as fans about the future, and sort of talking about and praising some of the players that we actually rate. Some of the players we actually think, you know what, they do have a future here at Man United, and it is actually quite important that their future is at Man United. So people might say that won't take long. Maybe it won't. I don't know.
Maybe it won't.
But maybe it won't. But I do think it's important, when there's a lot of negativity around and we're all discussing things, quite rightly so, with what's been going on and what the reports have been saying. It is also important to look at, some of the things that are going our way that we maybe don't quite realize yet or need to speak about more in adversity. And also, we're going to be talking about Andre Onana's turnaround. Really good piece by Andy Mitten and Carl Anker, two really good guys in the Athletic, talking about Andre Onana's feelings, how he's been since he's been here. And I think it's brilliant what's been said in that article, and actually highlights just the type of player that Onana is with his character. So we'll get into all of that stuff. Jord, who's been a member for 2 months, says, good morning. Just wanted to say thank you for all the entertainment you guys provide. Can't wait for this summer's morning transfer views. Big up. Yeah, do you know, it's going to be crazy.
Big summer. I was thinking that when I saw her, I went, my goodness me, what a busy summer ahead. It's going to be a lot going on. Outgoings, incomings, rumors, speculation. Oh, it's going to be a big one. Strap in.
It is going to be mental, the transfer views, sorry, when we start them in the summer. So big up to you, George, for highlighting that. George's, thank you for the super chat straight off the bat. Really appreciate that. George says, good morning. Bless up, everyone. Get those likes up. George's have just spoken. He's just spoken. 100%. Let's get to 250. There's already over 400 of you watching. We've got 64 likes. Let's get the first 100 in the bag, and let's get to 250. Waiting for United to win the Prem. Says, rest in peace, Akira Toriyama. Obviously, I don't know a lot about Dragon Ball Z in the anime, but I did see the news today or last night on the thing that he passed away, and he was the creator of Dragon Ball Z and many other anime. You know me, I joke about the anime thing a lot, but what I do understand about anime is how big it is, and if he's one of the creators. Owen, I don't know if you can, know more.
Yeah, Dragon Ball. I'm a bit like you. I don't really watch a lot of it, but I think a lot of people, definitely, I would say my age, my generation, the sort of Cartoon Network, Toonami generation, at some point came back from school or on a Saturday afternoon or Saturday morning and watched Dragon Ball Z. I think a lot of people had that experience. So it's very sad news, isn't it? Especially an influential figure like that.
Yes, 100%. So very true from waiting for United to win the Prem. And Daniel Luciano, been a member for 13 months, says, big up this community. Start my day at 4 a.m. with this show every day. Wow, 4 a.m.
Dedication.
Jeez, that's insane. Yeah. Always great vibes and discussions. What a channel you've built, Flex. Really appreciate that. And it isn't me. It isn't just me. Owen's helped build it. Josh has helped build it. KG's helped build it.
It's all of us.
It's literally all of us. The community, guys.
It's your channel, not Flex's. It's your channel.
100%. So when I say I'm going to shut it down, make sure you tell me you ain't doing anything without our say so. It's our channel. Yeah.
Empty
you ain't
threats.
Shutting down shit. Empty threats.
Empty threats.
And of course, everybody who comes on to the match views, who comes down to the studio, everybody who contributes to the channel in general, it's all of our channels. So yes, big up to everyone. Isaac just caught my eye in the chat. Said, Fleck, Why do you criticize Rashford for doing interviews when Onana is doing a new interview every week? I haven't seen those interviews that Onana does
As
every
an
week.
interview,
I
this
yeah,
this one, the piece today is more an analysis on his tenure
yeah.
at Manchester United,
And some
they
inside
talked
sources. He
to,
hasn't done an
yeah,
interview.
exactly. They talked
Yeah.
to, I think, friends of Onana or something like that, and the only other quotes that are coming out are ones that have already been said by Eric Ten Hag, or one from the training ground about like a youth player that was having a go at him in a training session, which we'll get to later on. So yeah, I don't know if it's Onana doing interviews every single week, but okay, that's
Yeah,
okay.
exactly. Right, let's start with the future plans and Ineos's United future, and the people we can invest our stocks into, and get involved in the chat, because we did this yesterday and a lot of people got involved. It was a really good show yesterday,
Was.
and we wanted to do it kind of the other way around and do the positives.
Hmm.
um, because there isn't sort of an article to sort of reference here, and this is just sheer opinion, which is refreshing. What are you saying, Owen? The future plans, the players that
You build around.
should be at the nucleus of Man United. Yeah.
Wow. And you said it's not going to be very long. You're probably right. Building around for the future. Well, how old's Lissandro Martinez?
26, maybe 25.
So you could still build around him for the next
Absolutely.
5-6
Yeah.
years.
The immediate future. Yeah.
So you would say Leacher.
Yeah.
You would say
Yeah. He's 26.
Diogo Dallo. You forget how young he is. Isn't he 24?
Yeah.
Diogo
He's been here
Dallo.
for ages.
But
I think
he's
he is.
20.
Yeah.
You think he's 24,
Yeah,
25,
24.
24. So you would say those two. Obviously, you go Kobbie Mainoo.
Yeah.
You then look at Rasmus Højlund. You look at Alejandro Garnacho. Probably about it.
Onana. Should you look at Onana?
For the future, I mean, he's 27,
Yeah.
28.
It's fine for a goalkeeper.
Goalkeepers are different because, of course, you can. I mean, one of our greatest goalkeepers played until he was 40, 41 in
Exactly.
Edwin van der Sar. And I love the story of Edwin van der Sar because we signed him when he was 36.
Mental.
Which is crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because nowadays, if you signed a 36-year-old goalkeeper, and that is not to say that he didn't have pedigree, because he did, obviously Ajax, etc. in the past, he came from Fulham as well.
Yeah.
So he's at Fulham in the Premier League, and people are like, like an old goalkeeper that used to be big at Ajax. He's at Fulham, 36. I don't know. Goes on to become one of our greatest goalkeepers ever.
Mental.
I love that story.
It's a great story, but even when he signed as well, like I think because he was still so good, like because we watched him week in week out.
Yeah, he fit.
It was like, it wasn't like what on earth? It was like, we're getting Van der Sar, thank God, because I tell you what, Bartes has been terrible.
But if we did it today, you know what the reaction would be. People would be like, there's no long term in that. What are you doing?
Yeah, what are we doing?
Yeah. And even when he retired, Fergie's asking, going, I think you got another year in you. And he did. He did have another year in him. He could have if he wanted to, but he decided not to do it. And he broke records when it comes to clean sheets in a row, goals not being conceded. I love that story. So my point being, yes, obviously goalkeeper can play to a later age. I don't know if you say like Onana's going to be part of the team for, when I say build for the future, I'm looking at the next, maybe 5 years, but you're maybe looking for that young goalkeeper, aren't you? That sort of 22, 23-year-old goalkeeper. But Onana's going to be in the sticks for the foreseeable future, no doubt about it. He's not going anywhere anytime soon. Not in the next, 3 years, maybe? Anything like that? I don't think.
I think the immediate future. I think the next sort of, depending on everything goes all right under the new ownership, I don't think the next 3 to 5 years it'd probably be there. But
unless someone else comes in and just
unless there's a manager. Actually, we say this, because managers, like we said, we have seen with Pep come in and say, listen, I don't care about X, Y, Z. It's not for me. But the way the modern game's going and all that stuff, I don't know. You just think you'd be all right. But yeah, there's no guarantees. I think the guarantees are probably the ones that you said. I think.
And are you happy with that? Are you happy with that being the nucleus for Manchester United's future?
Yeah, I mean, it's something to. What I do think is that we shouldn't. As much as I love these players, I like these players a lot. I don't think we should overgas them as well, because we've done that in the past. I think obviously the Kobbie one's interesting because we know how good he is, and like you can just see you're like, hang on a minute. With the stuff he's doing in his debut season, like his first set of starts for Man United, some of the things he's been doing with the ball, you're like, that's not normal. He's not normal. Like,
when they're going like, don't overgas him. You go, yeah, but he's good. Like it's
yeah,
not. You don't
he's
get the
proper
impression
good.
that it's just form. You get the
Exactly.
impression that that's his kind of
I
his
think
level.
I think him more so, like with Garnacho.
That's what the one I was going to ask you. I was
Yeah.
going to go, where do you sit on Garnacho at the
Yeah,
moment?
because really deep that look, obviously, look, I did that thing with Tobes when I admitted, like, I was just being tribal because I just didn't want him to talk shit to me. But the
got a
truth,
reaction. Got a reaction.
He did. He poked the bear, and I just thought, no. Do you know what it is? I was looking at him. I'm like, you're Spurs. Like, I just can't listen to them because they're just you do nothing. You're a nothing.
Have you seen the reaction to that on Big Six when he brought up on Big Six? Have you seen that?
Yeah, of course. Brilliant. Yeah, of course. And Toby's always angry. But and I've been on many videos before, sort of saying like Garnacho's like not, he's raw and he's refreshing and stuff, but he's not like super yet. Will he? I just think he's good. I think at the moment he still should really be a player who's coming off the bench and impacting games. And we spoke about it on What the Devil podcast yesterday. He's had to start like 21 games in a row or something like that. Is it that?
Yeah, it's a crazy statistic. Yeah.
So he's been sort of a bit burnt out already and probably given a bit too much too soon, because again, it's no disrespect to Garnacho. He's taken it and tried to do his best. He's had some really good circumstances because, like I said, we bought a guy for 80 million and he's not great. He's rubbish. So, or has been rubbish since he's been here. So, then the 70 odd million pound person in Jadon Sancho, he ain't here no more. Yeah. These are the senior guys. These are the guys who are supposed to be the world beat, and then injuries as well. So Garnacho's had to step up quicker than probably we would have liked. Same with Kobbie Mainoo. You know what I mean? I know that was a plan to play him, but also it's like now he's integral. And there is the good enough, you're old enough, but also you want to bed these players in and give them a chance. So, but Garnacho, let's be honest, he should just be coming on for the last 20 minutes and starting here and there. He's really raw. I think he's quick and direct, so that always makes him a threat. But his decision making obviously is still way off because he's so young. But he can be in he should be in our squad. It's good to, you keep him, you give him his new contract, you keep him in the squad, and you develop him and you see how high the heights he can get to. But yeah, I don't see him being like the next Vinicius, and like I don't see that yet. But it's really difficult. I mean, what was Vinicius doing when he was 18, breaking through to a first team? I mean,
it fluctuates with Garnacho, doesn't it? I think it's not as. Again, maybe it's just because the sample size is smaller with Kobbie, but it feels more clear cut with him that you go, yeah, I feel like he's going to be really something. Whereas Garnacho, it does fluctuate because he'll do something for a run of 2 or 3 games. For instance, earlier this season, like Galatasaray away and Everton away in the Premier League, and you go, I tell you what, it's just because sometimes that does happen with players. Sometimes then they're all right for ages, and then with young players, they just snap into becoming an incredible player, like Gareth Bale. You know what I mean? When for ages you go, considering selling him, I think they were going to send to like Birmingham or something like that. And next thing you know, he goes, he's just amazing. I don't know what happened. He's amazing. Or like Cristiano Ronaldo, it was always good, glimpses at United, young player. And then next thing you know, sort of around 2006, suddenly like he's the best player in the world. He's incredible. It just kind of happens.
It's consistency.
It just kind of snaps into it and you go, oh my God, what happened there? And with Garnacho, there have been a couple of points this season. Like I said, particularly, I remember that Galatasaray game because it was right after he scored against Everton. You go, that's a brilliant goal. And an early away, Galatasaray scored, puts it in the roof of the net. And I thought at the time, and he's giving it to the crowd, giving it all that. Yeah. And they had to sort of apologize because they were going to go for him. But I saw that and I went, I tell you what, that takes balls to do that. Yeah. Away from home, in Turkey, Galatasaray, Champions League, in a game that we needed to get something for. So good. Okay. Here we go. Now he's going to really start kicking on. And then he does what he's done because he's a young player. Will just sort of drop off a little bit or miss some chances in some games. And you go, maybe he should have a run out the side. But because of the circumstances this season, there's not really the opportunity to do that because if things had gone completely to plan for Erik ten Hag, I mean, and everyone had been sort of a successful in their roles, Garnacho would be on the bench right now because it would be Rashford on the left, being Marcus Rashford the last season. It would be Anthony being a success because we spent all that money for him on the right-hand side. Or Sancho. And then through the middle, it'd be Rasmus Højlund or Anthony Martial that can stay fit. A lot of those scenarios haven't happened, when it comes to Anthony, Sancho, Martial, and everything else, all of the above, and Rashford not playing well too. So he's had to, by proxy, carry the load a
Fast
little
track
bit.
him. Yeah.
And to your point,
fast track.
sometimes he's not ready for that. And I think, look, considering the circumstances, I think he's done very well. And you actually look at his development, he's following the right track. 2 years ago, 2 years ago, he was in the FAU Cup final. We did a match on the channel for it, and he was the best player on the pitch that night. Last season, he's a sub most of the time, coming on late winners or getting involved, a couple of starts here and there, then coming out the side. This year, it should have been, while you're still a sub, but you're going to be starting more. You're going to be starting more games and being more influential, which he has been. And when he does come out of form, it should be the time to sort of, okay, right, we've got a lot of senior players. We can take you out and we can play those senior players. Probably the senior players haven't been available, or they just haven't been good enough. They've been rubbish. They haven't been carrying their load. So by proxy, he's had to do more. And for all of the talk that we're saying about building around these young players, and they're the nucleus of the teams, they're the best performing players this season. We're talking about, they're meant to be players for the future. They're meant to be ones, I can't wait to get their peak in 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. But they're our best players now. They're our best performing players now.
We need them to do it. And like you're saying about, the kind of steady upwards. And this is where you have to look at Garnacho and then put it back. If you were Garnacho listening to this, you go, yeah, but hang on, there's caveats to this. Like you said, I've been propelled to this level. Why should I be polished and really good now? Like, 21, 22, he made 2 first-team appearances. So obviously, we're building up. We're trying to get to that point, having a little look. Like Kobbie Mainoo last year, didn't he? Made his debut in the Carabao Cup.
Yeah.
Then he didn't really see it, It's a couple here and there. And then last year, he ended up playing 19 times in the Prem. Last year he was in the first team the whole time. 37 appearances he made in all comps last year. So he's gone from making 2 to 37 in his breakout season. And that was when they held him back. And he had 6 goals and 6 assists for his first ever season. That's not bad.
Man United.
At Man United. So he played 4 times in the FA Cup. He's playing in all the competition, 19 times in the Prem, 6 times in Europa League. That's near enough all the games. 5 in the EFL Cup. That's near enough all of them. 2 in EFL Trophy. So that would have been the kids. And once in the Premier League too. So again, before he came through to us, he had a couple of things. So last season's 37, 6 and 6. This season so far, so there's still good few games to go. He's played 36 already. He's played 36 now, and he's got 7 and 3.
Be careful, and this is where you need to be careful, because like people say, they go, well, he's still a kid, and you do not want to run him into the ground. But we've got not many options. And also we need to win games. The other options we do have at the moment, are they going to do what Garnacho can possibly do or has done so far this season? That's the dilemma.
27. He's played 25 times in the league. And we've played 27 games, haven't we?
Well, put it this way: at this point, especially now, like tomorrow, if team news came out and Alejandro Garnacho wasn't starting, you'd be surprised. You'd be like, "Oh, surprised."
Well, and Dylan was talking about this on What the Devil. He was like, he thinks he needs a rest. He thinks he probably needs to come out. Like,
I would probably
because actually, we've seen some of his performances kind of dip a little bit as well, where he's, and towards the end of the game, he's shattered. Like, do you know what I mean? And rightly so. So he could do with a little, but then again, and then you look at our team and you're like, I tell you what, if he doesn't play, what?
Yeah.
Who's going to be the outlet? You have to play him. But that's the problem. That's the issue. And that's what it is. He needs help. So this year, 36 appearances, all competitions, 7 goals, 3 assists. He's on course to do better than last year for goals anyway, because he got what?
Yeah.
Well, I say 6 and 6. So he's already scored more than last year. Be good for him to get his assists up as a winger. But, he's doing all right. He's doing all right. The Rasmus one, I think, you look at it and you just go, yeah, man. He
just
looks
needs a bit like that. He just needs support.
He'll need help as well. He'll need support. Even if that person is, better than him and Rasmus has to not start as much, I don't mind. Like, I'm not in this thing of like, well, we found Rasmus now, everything's fine. Like, no, we can't rest on our laurels. I want quality on top of quality on top of quality. I want to be in for the good players, that the top players. Not saying the 150 million pound players. I don't mean that. I mean just good players who can come in and play now. And if that means that people have to fight it out and you're not really sure who's going to start because they're both so good, that's what I want. That's what I want. Daniel Luciano. Oh no, sorry. Shoals Music. Thanks for the super chat. Says, hi guys. Do you think keeping Amrabat might be wise? We need 3 centre mids. We know he is better than he has shown, and for 15 million, isn't that a good option to have alongside 2 new centre mids? We can't sign 3 greats.
I don't think so. I think Amrabat, like they said, he's going back to Fiorentina in the summer, isn't he? I mean, would you feel comfortable signing Sofian Amrabat for like 15 million?
No,
It was 20
for
million
any
euros,
money.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's because I just see that as 15 million, 20 million we can put
that we
towards
could for someone else. Yeah,
something else.
exactly.
I see what you mean, Shoals. Like the thinking of it, like money, like financially. But if I'm honest, I would.
But there are, even for that value, I mean, as Liverpool have shown with Endo, there are better options out there for that price. You know what I mean? It's just about finding them. If you've got the right recruitment structure, you can find them.
You can find them for 15 million. Like, what I'm saying? And, then sign a 30-year-old for 15 million if you sign 2 youngsters who are really good.
Yeah, exactly.
Because Endo's been unbelievable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dominic says, I really enjoyed the show yesterday. It was so stupid to sell Evans when we did, as he was clearly a much better defender than most of our options until Maguire, Leacher on the ball over the last 5 to 7 years. Yeah, it's mental.
For the price as well. For the price was crazy. But that at that time, and I suppose just throughout history, but particularly I remember with Louis van Gaal when he first came in and loads of people left for like nothing.
Yeah.
For like nothing. And Johnny Evans, I mean, I get some of them were like, oh, you're not good enough, they've got to go. But yeah, the Johnny Evans, even at the time, people were like, that's a bit weird because he was good.
He still would have been one of our best defenders if he'd have stayed in that time. Because when you look at Bailly, Rojo, Blint, who's come in like after those times, Maguire, Lindelof, Martinez now, Varane, and then we're now seeing a 36-year-old Johnny Evans at the back end, and he's still looking as good as, like, not looking out of place with the likes of Leacher and Varane and things like that. And it's like, exactly, it's crazy.
And as Dominic's saying, for all of the talk about, like with Louis van Gaal in particular, like you want a ball playing centre half.
Yeah.
So that's what Johnny Evans is. I mean, he's really good on the ball. So it didn't make any sense.
Yeah. Biggie Third says 4 a.m. here in Baltimore, Maryland. Fleck, you got the Bex question right yesterday by saying false. He wore 7 numbers, not 6. He also wore the number 10. There you go. Dylan, you absolute disgrace and cheat.
Wow.
I tell you what, we need to sharpen up on some of these quizzes that we do here at United View, because some of them, you got Josh did some of them. People getting it right.
I've had a lot of complaints about the Quizmaster Josh in the past. Yeah. I remember the first quiz we did, I was furious because they said the moon landing was in the wrong year, and I knew I was right on that one, and turns out I was. And then the last quiz I missed because I was ill, and then I heard some salacious rumors about the questions in that one as well. Disgraceful.
Yeah, 100%. No Beats Football Analysis says, is it me or is the sound always low? I saw when you said that, and loads of people in the chat said it's fine for me, and I did have a little check on the other browser, and it sounded fine to me, so maybe just need to refresh there, bro. Biggie the First says, honestly, guys, I don't get the Garnacho hype. Some people do feel that,
Well, Tobes definitely did.
Yeah, Tobes definitely did. Yeah, a lot of rival fans do. Some rival fans go, no, I like him. He's good, man. He's got something. Some rival fans are like, nah, he's erratic. He's like, Brennan Johnson type. Nothing.
I think the criticism would subside. Like I said, if we had more senior players available in his positions and he played less often, I think that would die down. I think he's overexposed. I think he's overplayed and overexposed. And that needs to be rectified, because the last thing we want to do is run him into the ground and then suddenly people approve, right, I told you he was rubbish. Well, no, he's just played too many games.
But you also got to look at like the trajectory of like other young players. Like look at Martinelli when he first started coming through. Just erratic, just needs to work on his final decision. But after sort of, what is this, Martinelli's 4th year?
Yeah, he's still erratic, isn't he?
And he's still quite erratic, but he's like, he's kicking on a bit, and I see similarities there of like, give me the ball, I'm just going to go at people. This is 100 miles per hour, as Josh does, like just fast. But you have to have a little bit of calm, don't you? And that comes with age, and that comes with how good you actually are. Because Saka has reached that stage very quickly. of making the right decisions and playing in the right way.
Some players click. Some players, you
Exactly.
notice it a lot of the time with wingers in particular, because a lot of the time the technical ability is there for a lot of them. A lot of them, it's already there. They've got pace, they've got skill, they can get the ball in the box. They're good finishers, but the key thing's decision making. And sometimes it takes a while for them to suddenly their decision making, they make the right decisions. And sometimes they just never learn it. Their decision making is always terrible. Their final ball is always rubbish. And then, like I said, some players one day the switch flips and so they make the right decisions more often, or that final pass, they can suddenly make it, or they take an extra step and they go, okay, I'll just wait. There you go. I'll put it across goal, or I'll put it in the back of the net. And that's the key thing. And I think that, and I see that with Garnacho. I do genuinely believe one day, I don't know when it is, but I think he'll just get very consistent and we'll be like, oh, actually, wow.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly. Man like Fear 96 says Martinelli is average, so it isn't something to compare to. Lazy comparison. Garnacho is cheeks. I'm not hearing this. I don't think it's a lazy comparison at all. I think it's a good comparison, because you're talking about someone who's come into a team and now he's been there for 2 or 3 years. He's an integral part of the left and starts near enough every game, and they're challenging for the league. And you got double figures goals last year and kicked on, and is playing in one of the best teams in the league consistently every week. You can't say he's crap. He is. That is something to compare to, because that's like saying that, well, in the best form of Man United, when Martinelli was on the way up, when Arteta was even there, where people were like, oh, with this team and how he's doing, you know, either get him out or he's never going to be able to build anything. 2 years later, he's competing back to back, like he's in the race for the title, more so this year than last year.
But I do think that Martinelli, with him, I do think there is an element of being not overrated, but like people do use him as like, not the standard, but people do throw him into those conversations. And you go, actually, when you compare his numbers to a lot of numbers for other people, like a Garnacho or whatever, they're not even a million miles off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's why it's a fair comparison.
He could be way more. But I mean, in terms of when you compare him and people go, no, Martinelli is way better. And you go, is he? Is he really? You know, in terms of numbers. So, yeah. Yeah.
But a man like Fear saying, yeah, Martinelli's not the guy in his opinion. And again, I'm not saying he's gonna be world class, but I think he's good.
Because if you did a combined 11 with Arsenal, right, and then you had goal flex to be like, I'll have Garnacho over Martinelli, you'd get slaughtered for it. And actually, my point is,
it's not that much
really that much of a difference in that.
Yeah.
Really.
But
you look at the numbers.
And I agree, but that's what I'm saying. They're actually close.
Yeah,
it is a comparison. That's exactly my point. It actually is a. They're really close. Like one person, Arsenal fans would obviously all say Martinelli because they love him and that's their kid from their academy, and we're going to say Garnacho. But actually, player for player, you know, they're both
not million miles in it.
Yeah, it's not. There ain't. Man like Theo, been a member for 12 months. Big up, bro. Says same person. Garnacho's age is only brought up because he's washed. He's overplayed, and he's only 18, 19. No, he's just not good enough. Simple as that. Sell him now.
It's very harsh.
Yeah,
that's very harsh.
I think that's harsh. Again, so that means that you're not giving the youngsters like a chance to see how they can be. You're giving up just bare early. Like I
said, there have been a lot of players throughout history that by when they were 18 or 19 weren't it. They weren't. Like I said, I think Gareth Bale was the best example of someone like that. Of like, he didn't have the record of when he played for Spurs for like 2 years, they didn't win or something. That's a crazy record, Gareth Bale. So I know someone will be able to find that in the chat. And suddenly they can turn. Young players, it's about getting them game time. And then by the time they are, 21, 22, even then, you go, oh, still young. By the time maybe when they get, 23, 24, that's when you start to go, right, it's got to kind of happen now. If it doesn't happen, then we might have found your level. But I think to sort of write him off at 18, 19 is very harsh.
Well, he scored and Martinelli scored 15 goals last year, and this year he's got 6 so far. He's got the same as Garnacho, and he scored 15 last year. Played 36 games. Like, you know, he's doing all right. He's doing all right. I wouldn't say he's trash. And Garnacho, like we said, is steadily on the up. Like, let's just see what he does. Scholes, actually, man like Theo, who do you rate? Actually, I want to know who you would keep and who you would invest your stocks into at United, or is it nobody? Is it just a whole new thing that needed? And who do you think should be there instead of these players? Scholes Music says, I think Endo flops at United this season. If we signed him, we will probably be talking about how we need to send him back, get someone like Amrabat. LOL. Probably.
I don't know with that one because the thing about Endo, and we really don't have this, And I think a great example was in the Carabao Cup final with Jurgen Klopp saying Endo's, still running now. And that's because that's what he does. He gets around the pitch. I mean, a couple of his tackles are a bit suspect, to be honest with you. I think he should have had a couple more red cards this season. But he gets around and he puts it in. And I think I think we'd love that. I mean, there's still people trying to say, oh, we should have kept Fred because he does the same thing. You know what I mean? Runs around, puts tackles in, covers distance. And whilst he probably would have been as successful at United because he'd been covering a lot of distance in that midfield as opposed to what he does in the Liverpool midfield, I think maybe, like I said, would have done as well. But I think he'd have been very well received at United because historically we've always liked that kind of player, the one that, whether it's Herrera, whether it's even like a Fred, whether it's Jason Park, whether it's whoever, that player, Darren Fletcher, that puts work in, covers distance, can do a job in big games. United fans always love them. They always have. So and the problem is with Amrabat is I don't see him as being able to do that. He doesn't have the legs to do that in the game, or the durability or stamina to do that in the game.
Mate, as much as I was, wanting Amrabat to come, like he's got to go. There's no discussions about it for me. Like just we can't sign him on a permanent deal. We can't, off of what we've seen, go. Actually, yeah, that's what we need. We can't. We just can't do it. Tabrez says, do you think it's fair to judge Garnacho in such a dysfunctional team? Garnacho will cook under a stable team where there is true leadership. Yeah, and just in general, like again, some of the players we're comparing him to, he's just getting started. He's only played, I'm just looking now, he's played 72 times for Man United and scored 12 times and got 8 assists in 72 games. Martinelli's played
that much,
and he shouldn't have played. Martinelli's played 160. Like these players are way ahead of him. Is that what I mean? So I just think just wait. Some people getting on to Garnacho saying no, he's not this, he's not that. Well, 72 games, 12 goals and 8 assists ain't bad for a young player. Right at the start of his career, it's not bad, is it?
And his. I mean, to be honest, last season wasn't even a full season for Garnacho. No, that was a breakthrough season. This is really his first full season, And to be like, no, it's rubbish. I just think he's overplayed. I just think he's played too many games.
Exactly. Mankin LA says Garnacho, Rasmus, Kobe, the future. Morning, lads. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I could see that. I think, like we said, we're talking about Garnacho being the one where we're like, wonder what happens there. But he's doing all right. He's doing all right. Smash a like, guys, on the video. We're at 216 likes. We're at coming up to 1,200 people watching live, which is really good. We want to get to that 250 mark. We always do it every morning. We set that bar. Big up to everyone getting involved, man. Like Theo's getting involved with some big takes. People are talking in the chat there in the community. The mods are getting involved, the chat's getting involved, super chats, everything. That is what the community is, and that's why I love doing these opinion shows, because you kind of dive into how people really think and get a general consensus, and then you start throwing out other names. G-Man says Martinelli's overall game is better right now. Stop it, man. We hype our players way too much. Kenny was saying that Garnacho is getting overplayed and stuff like that.
I'm not saying, by the way, with Martinelli, like he's not better than Garnacho right now, because he should be. He's played more games in the Premier League, and as a moment he is. But I'm saying that the pedestal that I think Arsenal fans and even other fans hold him on, I don't think is as high as it should be, shall we say. And like I said, you look at his numbers versus other numbers, not even just Garnacho, other like left wingers in the Prem, you go, like I said, there's not a lot in it, really.
Yeah. And Garnacho, Martinelli's older than him. Martinelli's what, 22? And Garnacho's only just turned 19.
Yeah, as I said, he's had more seasons in the Premier League. He should be better. He should be better.
Exactly. So there you go. I want to talk about this Andre Onana article in the Athletic. What we got here, because this is very interesting stuff. So this is an article from the Athletic from Andy Mitten and Carl Anka, and it basically talks about Andre Onana this season, the struggles he had at the beginning of it, the mistakes, the doubts, not just from Onana himself, but his teammates, the fans, and how maybe recently
he started to turn it around a little bit and some stats to back it up. Now, we got some quotes, some snippets from it. I would recommend to go read the full article. It's very good. And it starts off by saying, even though a stern-faced Erik ten Hag refused to blame him for errors, his teammates, Andre Onana's teammates, doubted him no matter what they said publicly. In one training session, a young player who had barely played a first-team game said, quote, "Are you going to save one or what?" after he felt United's new goalkeeper wasn't stopping enough shots. Imagine the gall flex.
Mental.
Someone hasn't played many games for Manchester United, talking to a Champions League finalist goalkeeper, going, "You got to save one or what?" Continues by saying, "Onana was down and told people close to him, 'I don't know what's happening to me with these mistakes. I always have confidence in myself, but now I'm losing it.' Those who know him best said he moved his body differently during games. The goalkeeper they saw wasn't the goalkeeper they knew." So even people close to Onana are like, "This doesn't look
ain't
like
him.
Andre."
This ain't
and
him.
even Andre Onana's going, "I don't know what's going on. I can't stop making these mistakes. I don't get it. I don't understand." It carries on by saying, "It wasn't supposed to be like this. A playmaker in gloves" was one description of Onana after his performance in the Champions League final for Inter Milan. But United's disastrous campaign in the 2023-2024 group stage, coupled with a turbulent start in the Premier League, led to many, including several players, that said their mate David De Gea had sad that their teammate David De Gea had departed, to believe that United would have been better off retaining the Spaniard. So reportedly as well, there were people even within Manchester United, teammates of Onana that were friends with David De Gea, going, "Shouldn't have let go David. Shouldn't have let go David. Oof, I don't know if that was the right move. Oof, I'm not sure about that." And even as like someone like Onana, you can feel that. I'm sure he could feel it, whilst they wouldn't say it to his face. You can feel that kind of stuff. But it continues by saying the Cameroonian, 27, has been one of United's best players in 2024. Game after game, he's producing top saves. And as the doubters become admirers, his manager is feeling more vindicated. Quote, "He's doing very well," Ten Hag told reporters following Onana's strong performance in the FA Cup against Nottingham Forest. "He has very good performances in the Premier League. He's progressing, so he has to see this as a base and step up from here." It then carries on by saying, "In the first part of the season, up to the end of 2023, Onana had been the fourth largest difference between his goals conceded, excluding own goals, and his XGOT. This demonstrates that while he may have looked shaky in his early months, compared to a league average goalkeeper, he prevented United from conceding at least an extra 3 goals. So despite his shaky start, he was actually doing okay, according to the stats. This is, again, stats. Since the turn of the year, he has looked more secure, but he's actually performing closer to the league average considering the quality and number of shots he faced." This is an interesting one, though. His 8 successful high claims in Sunday's Manchester derby was more than any goalkeeper has managed in a single game in the Premier League all season. De Gea made 14 across the last league campaign at the club. So get this, right? He claimed 8 crosses, Andre Onana, last week. That's the most in a single game out of any goalkeeper in the Premier League this season. In comparison, David De Gea only did 6 more throughout the entirety of last season. It's crazy. It says also it wasn't a one-off either. Onana has faced more crosses than any other goalkeeper in the league and is one of the best performers in this area of the game. So it's an interesting story, isn't it, Flex? It's a story of a difficult start, doubts not only from fans, but from teammates and from himself. And maybe even his manager, although his manager stuck by him publicly and also privately, and then started to turn it around a little bit as well now. But actually, according to maybe some of the stats, he's always been pretty close to the average, and now starting to reap dividends.
Yeah, I think that's the technical deep dive, the number crunching side of it. And like we always say, to be boring, we have the eye test. And what we were seeing with our eyes, you didn't need any stats to tell you, was that we were seeing a goalkeeper that was moving mad. Like, there was no other way to describe it. Like, he was just like, the types of goals that were going in literally looked like Space Jam. Like, he used to be a goalkeeper. He put his hands on the ball and the powers came out. So now you're just a regular person. You don't have any, you know that scene in Space Jam, innit? Have you seen that?
Never seen Space Jam, Flex. You know what I'm like with films. A lot of films I've never seen.
Yeah, but Owen.
I've explained this.
Everyone's
How
seen
many?
the
How
yeah, no, but
many
I'm
times have
like
I
you.
had?
There's loads of films I haven't seen, but there's
No, this is
non-negotiables.
how many times have I had to explain this, Flex? My childhood and life is consumed by football and wrestling. There's a lot of wrestling on, yeah.
Yeah, but
That's
everyone
what it
we
was
did the
like.
wrestling. I
And when
agree.
I
I
was
was there.
and when I was younger, Power Rangers.
Yeah, agreed. So that's what I'm saying. Space Jam is just as pop culture as that. Like it should be there. The original cartoon Space Jam is
With
just
Michael
like
Jordan going
yes,
into that world, facing those people
yes.
with the
You know, even
basketball.
know, yeah, because everyone
I
knows.
know the
Yeah.
reference. I know the references because you've done this to me all the time. You'll be like, you'll say a reference, and I get the reference. And you go, "Have you watched the film?" And I'll go, "No."
So do you understand what I'm even talking about
Yeah,
when I
I get
maybe say that?
it. I know the plot.
Okay. Because there's a scene where basically Patrick Ewing, Charles Barkley, Muggsy, like the real life NBA players,
And they're basketball players.
they're basketball players, right? They basically, the Monstars, who are the baddies, yeah,
Yeah, they're
basically
cartoons.
they're cartoons. They want to go against the Looney Tunes, right?
Yeah.
But they're obviously shit at basketball, so they they zap the powers from the NBA people and turn them,
Okay.
yeah, and get their powers as the cartoon. So
Mm.
there's this scene in the gym where like,
They can't play.
well, yeah, they literally just shoot. Like Patrick Ewing's looking at his arms and he's like, I can't shoot, like I can't do anything. But
Yeah.
there's a scene where they all touch the ball and the powers go into the ball, and then the cartoons take it. I was basically saying
Spoilers,
like,
Flex. Oh, might
well,
want to
yeah,
watch it. I'm not
spoilers
gonna watch
30
it.
years later.
I'm not gonna watch it.
I think that film was about 25 years ago, isn't it? The original. So
Yeah,
yeah,
when did it come out?
maybe
Do you know what it is?
it's
I
about
mean,
20. It's maybe about 95, maybe 97.
this is kind of the life that I have lived, Flex, because I know for a fact, we had a Space Jam VHS in the house growing
Yeah,
up.
we just
Like it was there. And do you know what's even more wild about this? My mum, when I was growing up, used to work old school. You know, people young won't even know what these are, in a video shop. Right. So it used to be like,
we got
it was,
Blockbusters.
it was like an independent version of
Yeah, there used to
Blockbuster.
be quite a few independent
Yeah.
ones, isn't there?
So
Yeah.
I literally spent a huge amount of my childhood in there,
Not watching the films you should have been watching.
counter. They might have been on, and I know of them. I just never watched them.
Look at that. It's nearly almost 30 years old. Oh my God, it came out when I was 6. Shit. Yeah.
It came out when
There
I
you
wasn't
go.
alive. That's probably why. For my time.
Don't give it all that.
For
Don't
my
give it
time,
all
Flex.
that. Don't give it all
When did
that,
it come out?
mate.
Did you say when did it come out?
96, yeah.
Oh no, I was
96.
alive.
Yeah, exactly. You
I was alive.
disgrace.
I had other things on my mind. I was a very old baby. You know,
I can't believe it.
it came out, and I'm like, this is a bit too lowbrow for me. You know.
Well, anyway, what I was basically saying was that
where
Onana
were we?
I was basically talking about Onana, and I was like, what I was seeing from him when the goals were just going in looked like his powers had just been zapped, like the people in Space Jam. Because before that, when he was at Inter Milan and Champions League, he looked good. Now all of a sudden, the ball's hitting his arms, going in, he's falling over. He was literally looking like he was looking. I'm not a goalkeeper. Where's my powers gone? That's why it was like the Space Jam thing. Do you get that?
Well, you always take a risk when you do a movie reference, Flex. You know what I mean?
Jesus. And I'm not even a movie
way.
guru, by the way. I've not seen loads
No,
of
you're
films
not.
that you should have
No,
seen.
you're not. No.
But Space Jam is like... But anyway, let's move on.
I watched Looney Tunes.
Yeah, of course. Like, yeah, but...
Because I said I was watching Cartoon Network and Toonami and all that.
Yeah, same. That's, you know, but you just should have seen Space Jam. I wanted to watch it.
I know the song. Y'all ready for this?
That's right. But that was...
Told you.
That was one of, yeah. Right, anyway.
Do you want to go into other films I haven't seen?
Yeah.
Because the chat's asking.
Have you seen The Mask?
Yeah. I have seen The Mask.
Have you seen Dumb and Dumber?
Yeah.
Right. So don't say it like, yeah, of course I have, because mate, there's, you know.
Yeah, I've seen them.
Have you seen Ace Ventura?
Yeah. Those ones again. Those
Jim Carrey's
ones.
my favorite. Yeah.
Well, those ones. It was like again. Mum worked in the video shop, so you know, you just get those. Yeah, coming out of the back of a rhino and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, amazing, brilliant, amazing. Really.
Yeah,
that's my favorite one. Have you seen Jurassic Park?
Yes,
like the original first one. Like the
yeah. I haven't seen any of the new ones.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Like Jurassic World, I haven't seen those.
Yeah. Have you seen Home Alones? The ones that
I've seen the first one. Have I seen the second one all the way through? Maybe not. Maybe not.
Well, that's a disgrace as well.
Maybe not. But I've seen the original Home Alone. How can you
No,
not?
no, they're both no, because Home Alone. Whoa. You can't just not see the second one. The second one.
Can you not?
Like, no. You can stop watching it after that. After Home Alone 3 was that little kid with the little remote control car.
I know.
Yeah.
Home Alone 2 is Home Alone 2 Lost in New York. I know there's the thing with when he bumps into Donald Trump. I know all that kind of stuff, but I don't know if I've sat down and watched that.
Well, that's a disgrace.
I've seen the first one.
You don't just get to. The second one's just not. Mate? They're both like. Classic.
How often are they on?
Every single Christmas.
No, the second one. The second one.
Oh, mate.
I feel like the first one's on way more than the second one.
No, it's not. No. Home Alone 1 and 2 are sick. Arguably 2's better.
Really?
Yes.
I think it's bad parenting.
Well, of course it is.
Lost a kid twice.
Absolutely. Of course it's awful parenting. Have you seen Kindergarten Cop?
Now what is that? Because I might have.
Well, that means no.
I might have. Because this is the thing, yeah. Some of these things I may have seen just like they were on the TV. Who's in it?
Arnie.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. I have seen it. Yeah, I have seen it. I have.
Have you seen Police Academy?
No. But this guy with the sound effects.
Yeah.
Part of it. I've seen
That's
part
80s
of it.
though. That is old.
I've seen part of it.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Have you seen RoboCop?
Well. Yeah, I have.
Have you seen Rambo?
A couple.
Yeah, same. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Have you seen Jumanji, the original? Robin Williams.
Yeah.
Have you seen Mrs. Doubtfire?
Yeah, of course.
Have you seen Flubber?
Yes.
Okay, so you're not that bad.
Yeah.
There's some that's, Terminator.
I've seen Terminator 1. I've seen Terminator 2, and then I get lost in a couple of them.
Okay.
No, I've seen 3. Is 3 the one with the woman in it?
Judgment Day, innit? That one.
With the female
Sarah
Terminator.
O'Connor. Yeah.
No. There's a female Terminator.
Oh, yeah. She's called. I can't remember the name. Yeah, I think that's number 3.
Yeah. So again, these things I have kind of seen, but like I didn't go to a cinema to watch it. I didn't go like I'm going to sit down and watch Terminator now.
Right.
When it happened.
Yeah.
It used to you know what used to happen to me a lot? This happened to me a lot as a kid. I used to just walk into the living room and my dad's watching the TV and I go, "What's this?" And he go, "Oh, sit down." And then by proxy, I'm on the carpet doing something or whatever.
Have you seen Matilda?
Yes. We had to do that for school.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, Matilda. And then the last one I was going to say is that I need you to have seen is I just had it in my head. Rush Hour. Please say you've seen Rush Hour. All of them.
How many are there? 3.
Yeah.
Probably.
Goated.
Probably.
All
I can't give you a firm answer if I have. But
you know what it is and you've seen it.
Yes.
Okay. Well, it's not that bad. There was one more I just thought of as well. Hangover.
Yeah, it was in Hangover.
1 to 3.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, well we can move on. Right,
it's fine. I thought I was going to do way worse in that.
It's just a lot you haven't seen. But anyway, back to Onana before we finish off.
Yeah, he's done all right, hasn't he?
He's done all right. In fact, that's actually the end of the show. Where are we at with the likes of the chat? Hold on. Oh, there's a lot going on here. Bloody hell, the chat. I've just gone back to it and it's going. Dominic said, bigger the third for him, Baltimore. Is it me or catch up? Man Like Fear says, Garnacho's 8. Oh, yeah, what's that? I think Endo. Yeah, okay. Tabra says, do you think it's fair to judge Garnacho? And we said that one. We said all of these. Staffo says, most important free signings we need this summer.
Gosh.
Really quickly.
I mean, centre back.
Yep.
Centre midfielder.
Yep.
Important. We need a striker, but he'd be a backup, wouldn't he? Or maybe he wouldn't.
Yeah, but it's very important. It's top things what we need. You have to get one. top of the list. We can't come out of this window not get a striker.
I'd maybe go centre back, centre midfielder, maybe even a left back.
Yeah, I don't think Luke
That's important.
Yeah. I'm going to say striker, centre mid, centre back.
That's 3.
Yeah, but we have to get a right winger as well.
That's what I mean. There's a lot to do.
We need a lot. We need so much. Descent of the first crackhead. This contribution, big up. PS says Onana was shocking in his first month, but let's not forget that David De Gea took 1.5 years to get to speed. Gino said being Man United goalkeeper is big pressure position. It is, but De Gea was so much younger though, as well. But it doesn't. It just shows it doesn't matter about age. It's just the thing can gobble you up, especially this.
Yeah.
De Gea came in,
to a successful team.
To a successful team and went on to win the Prem again. So the last one. So Sachin is the latest member of the UV Members Club as well. We got to 280 likes. Let's get that to 300 on the way out. What have we got for the rest of today, Owen? We have got the Trinity show later on.
Trinity episode. What's that? 6, I think. Episode 6.
Was it
episode 6.
Oh, 6.
It might be 6. Yes. And we got the press conference as well. That's at well, who knows what time it is because it changes so often a lot of the time. But I think it's going to be at 1:30, so I'll be live at about 2.
Yes, and hopefully we get some positive team news about players coming back. Yeah, about Hoyland. Well, yeah, it's only really going to be Hoyland. Maybe Maguire can come back, hopefully.
Maybe Mason Mount flex. Oh, you'd celebrate.
I would with my Mason Mount shirt. Kenny Fan TV says, big up flex. Did you watch Sharknado movie?
Sharknado.
You
ever heard of that?
No, I haven't. No.
You've never heard of Sharknado?
No, I haven't.
Where have you been?
Creation cheat, that one. What is that? I haven't seen
rubbish. It's rubbish.
Okay. And Ray Carl says, great show, guys, as well. Yeah, we have a little bit of fun on the way as well. Big up to you, Ray, always in the chat. Right, guys, we'll see you later on. At least 2 videos coming today, unless there's any breaking news. Go live right now type thing.
I haven't pressed that in a while, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
The breaking news thing.
Breaking news.
Where have I? Oh, I don't have... Do I have it here? I got a new one for The Rock.
Now go home and smoke some more crack.
There you go.
That's a good one.
That's for later.
We're going to need that. Yeah, we're going to need that a lot. So, yeah, there you go. All right, guys, take care. We'll see you again later on today. Take care. Peace.